Good afternoon and happy Benedictine week. My name is Father Brian and I teach in the history department, and I'd like to share with you a little bit of history today. First of all, as we begin the week and as we are at Saint Vincent, I like to tell people the story of how we got our name. Imagine all the Benedictine abbeys on earth. Literally thousands of them, men's and women's communities. And there is only one named after Saint Vincent de Paul, and that is where we are here in Latrobe at Saint Vincent. The original parish was called Sportsman's Hall Parish, and the property was also called that. And that was from about November of 1789 until the spring of 1835. The Archbishop of Philadelphia in 1835, Archbishop Kendrick, had his practice that each spring and summer he would go on a circuit. And we still preserve this idea of circuit in civil judges. You hear of a third circuit judge. And what the idea of a circuit judge or a circuit visit or a circular letter, if we're thinking about things within the church, is that an individual would literally go from place to place and make a complete circle back to where they began. So for Archbishop Kendrick, his circuit was from Philadelphia the whole way out to Westmoreland County, to Allegheny County, and then the whole way back to Philadelphia. He had a practice while on his circuit in the summers of doing confirmations, of ordaining clergy who were ready to be ordained in the outback here in the wilderness, and also of naming and dedicating churches. So when he arrives at this place, at Sportsman's Hall Parish, the parishioners had just finished building a beautiful brick church. And he arrived here on July 19th, 1835. According to the older calendar, the older Roman calendar, July 19th was the feast of Saint Vincent de Paul. Well, how did we end up with that, you might ask? His custom, the Archbishop's custom, was that whatever day he arrived at your church, whoever's feast day it was, that's the patron saint you got. It actually helped a lot. It promoted unity and it stopped squabbles about names. So he dedicates the church on July 19th, 1835, to Vincent de Paul, the founder of the Congregation of the Mission, the co-founder of the Daughters of Charity, and a Parisian priest who worked with the poor. When Boniface Wimmer arrives 11 years later, he is so struck by the name and the similarity in works of Vincent de Paul and what his idea of the Benedictine order is going to be in this country, that he chooses to keep the name Saint Vincent and thus name the first abbey in the world after a non-Benedictine, Saint Vincent de Paul. A little piece of interesting history is when I visited Paris to do my research for a year in 2012, the Parisian members of the Congregation of the Mission of Vincent de Paul's order were completely stunned. They were flabbergasted that a Benedictine monastery would hold the name of their founder, and flabbergasted in a good way. They couldn't believe it. And they felt a real sense of unity of mission between what the work that they do, missioning to the poor and educating young people, and the work that we do across the Atlantic in the United States, educating young people, serving as parish priests, serving in the mission fields, working with the poor, the imprisoned, educating future priests in our seminary, and all of the various works that we do at St. Vincent. Happy Benedictine week, and this has been your little spot of history for today.